Alright, welcome back to Havana Smoker, and we've got Jenny here to say hello. She's joining the video tonight. Sorry about that noise. And we're going to do a review, a little something different. We're going to talk about two of the top on-the-ear headphones, or over-the-ear headphones. We've got the Sony WH-1000XM4, which is a brand new edition coming out above their XM3, and the Jabra Elite 85H. And so both of these are highly rated headphones, and I'm going to get into them and talk about why I'm having a hard time picking one or the other, and some of my findings may surprise you. I haven't seen a video comparing these two, but we're going to do that. But first, let me, as tradition here, get my cigar going. And for those of you who watch my other videos, feel free to check out my reviews of cigars. Today, we've got this Fonseca from Cuba. And unfortunately, my trips to Cuba have been cut short due to COVID. But it's a great place to go to Havana to get cigars right from the source. So anyway, about this review, I wanted to get a pair of headphones because I've been doing a lot more work at home and doing Zoom calls, phone calls, and the outside noise and how much I have to talk. I thought it'd be better if I had a pair of headphones that I wouldn't have to talk so loud, save my voice a little bit, and I could hear better. And so the top headphone that I saw for business applications really is Jabra, and they've come a long way with their audio or their music sound. And so the Elite 85s are pretty highly rated, and I wanted to give them a shot. But as I said, I'm also interested in listening for pleasure, and I love music, and so the Sony 1000XM4s are really the top of the line when it comes to audio, and they've made some vast improvements to their phone quality with these, and so I wanted to give that a shot and see. So I think some of my findings might surprise you. I'm trying to decide which one to return, and I'll save that until the end. So the other thing I do on my videos, people might be interested, is not only with the cigars, and give you a little shot of the Fonseca. We can zero in on it there, maybe not. I need a better camera. That's probably something I should invest in. But so you can kind of see the Fonseca label there from Cuba. So these are just really just small but dynamic cigars, very smooth. But the other thing I do on my videos is I review cowboy boots, and they're one of the last vestiges of really American craftsmanship, made in America. And so these here today are the classics. They're Lucchese American alligator belly, and they're probably just about as good of a boot as you'll ever see. So that it's just a beautiful Lucchese boot. But check out my other videos for those. So let's talk about the headphones. So first thing is sort of the presentation and the boxing and unboxing, and so both of them come very nicely done in terms of their setup, and so they come well packaged, nice materials. Both of them have links right to their app, and so you need to do the app to get full use out of the headphones. And these are the Jabras, so they come in a nice carrying case. And conversely, the Sony, similar setup. The first thing you see is information about the app there, and so again they're really promoting that. You need to do that to get full use out of the equalizer to adjust the music the way you want it. So you can kind of see right away the Jabra is a little bit thicker, not much in packaging, so if you're going to take it on the airplane and so forth. Opening them up, they're basically the same materials in here, right? So you get your headphones that fold up nicely, and they have the same kind of, you've got your plug to charge, and then also if you want to make them wired for whatever reason, they have the audio jack there, and then they both come with a plug for the airport or the flights. And so taking these out, we can see I got the Sony's in gray. Each of them come in different colors, so just to contrast, I thought I would try that. And you can see they're both roughly the same size. The Jabras are slightly bigger, a little bit more on the padding end, but basically the same size. And so overall, in terms of packaging and presentation, I would say they're roughly the same. You know, there's neither one has anything skimpy on quality in terms of the packaging and what they've done. And so that's a wash. Now, in terms of comfort, here's where it's kind of interesting. So the Sonys have a reputation of being the most comfortable headphones, and I would say they're very close. So the Sonys are lighter, and when you put them on, they have a little bit of a loose fit, and they're very comfortable. The foam around the ears, you know, very easy to wear, not much pressure, but they almost feel a little bit loose, but you know, not bad. I don't think you'd want to run in those for sure. The Jabras, on the other hand, have this additional, the way they've designed them to put a little bit of pressure around the ears to hold them on better. And so when you wear the Jabras, you really feel pretty secure. And I think you probably could run in these the way they feel. They're tight, but they're not too tight. They certainly are not uncomfortable. The Jabra ear pads are a little bit more substantial, and it's hard for me to say. Initially, the top pad too looks a little more substantial on the Jabra. So comfort-wise, it's kind of a wash here. They're both very good. I mean, if I had to give a slight edge, I might give a slight edge to the Jabra just because they feel a little more secure. Now, how is the functionality? And so when you look at the Jabras, they have a couple of minuscule dots. You probably can't see them there, but that controls your sound, your volume up and down. And then there's a middle place to push in that can answer calls and hang up calls. And then they have just a couple of buttons on the side, and that's for noise canceling. And we'll get into that in a minute. The Sonys, on the other hand, they really work with an active surface here. And so you swipe up and down to lower the volume and increase it. You swipe side by side to, in essence, change tracks and so forth. And you tap it to answer and hang up on calls. They also have some buttons that do various things here too, but I would say in use, I like the Jabras better because the Sonys can be a little bit, you know, you can slide your finger up and down thinking that you're adjusting the volume, and really it's picking it up as side by side, and so it's moving the track ahead. Sometimes it'll hang up on a call if you do that, if you're trying to go volume up. And so I found that to be not as user-friendly as the Jabras. The Jabras, you can just very easily find that small little dot there, and you can do volume up, down, and you got to push in actively to hang up or answer a call. And so in terms of functionality, I'm going to give the edge to the Jabra. Now, I mentioned noise cancellation, and With these, the Jabras are good. They do a good job of noise cancellation, but this is where the Sonys really excel. And you may have read about that in different reviews or videos. Simply nothing better than I've seen. The Sonys are quite amazing when it comes to noise cancellation. So I have there's a John Deere tractor, zero turn, that's got a pretty loud motor. And I got on that with these, and it was amazing the job the Sonys did at blocking out. I mean, it took that motor to basically tick, 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 and that's about all I heard. The Jabras, on the other hand, did not cancel that noise nearly as well. It was very noticeable. But when I put on music, I certainly could hear the music well. And so, you know, there wasn't a problem with adjusting the volume to drown out the sound, but when you didn't have music, clearly the Sonys were better. Another feature with that is that the Sonys have sort of this active noise cancellation, and so if you walk around, you go from room to room, or you're in a crowd, it will adjust the noise cancellation so that you can hear a little bit if it feels you're walking where you need to be aware of your environment, and that's really cool. and I don't know, you know, Jabras don't have that. You can adjust it manually. The Sonys do it automatically, which is really cool. Of course, you can disable that if you want. And so noise canceling features a big plus to the Sonys. Now, the sort of two other main features that you might be surprised at what I found. So when it comes to audio quality and phone calls, audio quality, the Sonys were the highest rated that you could get. And so, and they don't disappoint. The audio quality is fantastic in the Sonys. What surprised me was how good the Jabras were. So you could use in essence the functionality of the Jabras to adjust your equalizer and really get a great sound out of the Jabras. Not quite as good as the Sonys, but really it was pretty good. And so when I put on the Jabras, I adjusted the EQ. You know, I really had to go back and forth with the music on the Sonys to see any difference. Sonys were slightly better. They have more range both sides in terms of lower and higher treble, but it's really hard to tell a difference, especially using the equalizer. The sound of the Sonys being a little better, I have to give them an edge, but again, it's a very slight edge. Conversely, the phone calls, and how do they do on Zoom and phone calls? I thought the Jabras would blow the Sonys away in that regard, but they don't. The Sonys are actually very good on phone calls. But here's the interesting thing, and I've not heard anybody talk about this. The Sonys actually sound better for calls and Zoom meetings than the Jabras. I get a clearer sound. The noise canceling works great on the Sonys. The Jabras, you can't really use noise canceling when you're on a Zoom call for whatever reason. It just doesn't apply. And you can get noise canceling if you put yourself on mute, but you know, if you want to talk, you're going to have a lot of hiss in the background or background noise. So I found that a little disappointing that the Sonys, I enjoyed taking phone calls and being on Zoom calls much better on the Sonys than the Jabras. However, and here's a big however, how my voice sounds to the person on the other end sounds much better on the Jabras. So Jabras have more microphones, and so they actually cancel out the surrounding noise much better than the Sonys. Now, if we're in a quiet room like now, and I was on a Zoom call, I've been told no difference. You know, the person on the other end hears me clear, so both the Sonys and the Jabras are equally good. But if I walk outside and I put my head down close to the outdoor air conditioner, I was on the phone with my sister. With the Jabra, she didn't even hear the air conditioner. They drown out that outside noise so well. On the Sony, she could hear it. And so it's interesting because if you are judging it from how calls and video conferencing sounds to you, you're going to like the Sony's better. If you're judging it from how you might sound to others, if you're in a noisy environment, the Jabras are definitely going to be better. And so it's a real toss-up there. I might even give an edge to the Sonys, and here's why. I've had fewer dropped calls and issues with the Bluetooth connection so far with the Sonys than I have the Jabras. And so I'm not real sure of the specs, but it seems that they both are very good at picking up, and normally I don't have a problem, but the issues I've had have come with the Jabras and the Bluetooth connection more so than the Sonys. And so I might have to give phone calls a slight edge to the Sonys unless you're going to be taking a lot of calls where there's a noisy environment. Then definitely it goes to the Jabras. Now, what does that all mean? And so, you've got the other factors, battery life. That's what everybody talks about. The Jabras have more battery life than the Sonys, but they're both outstanding. And so I don't know that, you give a slight edge to the Jabra on that issue, but again, both of them are excellent battery life. So the last point of reference is price. The Sonys are substantially more expensive than the Jabras. So right now, and they've just come out, so they've not been out long, maybe a month. You're going to pay full retail. I haven't found them on sale. Retail is like $350. The Jabras, on the other hand, I've been able to find them on sale